Um, Here today we will learn how to install and set up the Python environment with the help of the Python Landscape wiki. So here, if you're on the Python Landscape wiki page, you go to the setting up the Python environment, you click here, and then you will be redirected to the Python setup and installation page. So please read the wiki. I will show you here how to use this. First, you have two options. First, you can go to the Python distributions such as Anaconda. Anaconda here, you can read the wiki, and also I will show you the web page of Anaconda. So Anaconda is a distribution which contains many integrated development environments. You can find RStudio, you can find PyCharm, you can find Jupyter Lab, you can find Visual Studio Code. So it's a big package of many resources for data science and data analysis. You can download it. You click here, you skip registration, and you have to check your operative system, Windows, Mac, or Linux. You have options of graphical installer, which are a graphical user interface, or you can use the command line on your terminal. Anaconda distribution is ideal for those users who are beginning with Python and who are not used to the computer's terminal. It offers a nice graphical interface. However, is a bit heavy. It requires more than 4 gigabytes of space, and the launching of Anaconda is a bit slow at the beginning. But for those more advanced users, or the ones who want to be more agile and to avoid Anaconda, they have the option to install Miniconda or Miniforge. But the most important thing to consider here regarding the setting up of Python is that the reason of installing Anaconda or Miniforge is to have Conda as a package manager. You can Google Conda. Conda is a package management system that will take care of handling your packages, your virtual environments, etc. So this is a key tool for your data science or data analysis workflow. So that's why you can start. So Conda is the most important thing. So to use Conda, you have to install, as I repeat, Anaconda distribution or Miniconda. With Miniconda, you have to use the computer's terminal. And also you have another option, which is called Miniforge, uses the channel of CondaForge. If we go back here to the package manager installers, you can see here the wiki page where the respective installation and considerations, which one to install, Miniconda or Miniforge, and also to make a distinction between Conda as a package manager and to pip. Pip is the official package installer manager for Python, but for data science and data analysis, Conda is best, or is better. Sorry. Pip is also very common in the use of workflow, but mostly those web developers use Pip for that. But however, the good thing about Conda is that you can combine the use of Conda and Pip at the same time. But it's preferred to use Conda if possible. But we will talk about the libraries and the installation of packages and libraries in another video. So if you go here, you have, again, I repeat, the Miniconda option here. You have an option of installing depending on your operative system. You have Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. You can use installer of graphical installer or not. Also be aware that you have to know your computers. You have to use, if you're using a Mac OS device with Apple Silicon M1, M2, M3, or if you are using Intel device, So you have to consider that as well to install the correct installer. If you go to MiniForge, which is way better for those who are using Linux and macOS, but also Windows. It uses the Conda Forge channel, which is very updated regarding data science packages and libraries. So you can check the GitHub repository and install it here. But also you can have also other options of using a graphical installer for the Conda Forge. Personally, I use this, where you can also install it via the terminal. So both options are possible. You can check the installation of Conda in your computer either with Anaconda, Miniconda, or MiniForge. So you open the terminal or PowerShell and you type Conda /version and you check the version that is installed. You can also type Python because Python comes with Conda, and that's how you verify that Conda is being installed correctly. After installing Miniconda or MiniForge, you can install your integrated development environment. If you have already your Anaconda or Python distribution, you can use the preloaded packages, preloaded integrated development environments, for example, PyCharm or RStudio or Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook, Visual Studio Code. But if not, there are two main options, which is Jupyter Lab and Visual Studio Code. Integrated development environments, you can see the explanation here in this wiki page, how Jupyter Lab looks like. And we're still working on developing this further with the Visual Studio Code part. So you have two main options. To install Jupyter Lab and Visual Studio Code, you can go to Visual Studio Code to download section. Just type this or Google Visual Studio Code, and you have several options according to your device. If you have a Windows machine, you have to check if you have a ARM64 processor like the Snapdragon Elite, for example. Yes, and also you have an Apple Silicon M series processor or an Intel chip, you have to download the respective installer. The installation is very straightforward, and after that you can launch Visual Studio Code from searching the app on your computer, or you can use a terminal. In my case, I have this one here. And you can use code and dot, and then you launch it. So this is the interface of Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code works with extensions, so you have to check first your extensions, your Python extensions, and etc. So for the beginning of data analysts or data scientists, if you're in the first steps, I recommend to start first with Jupyter Lab, and then you can combine the extension of Jupyter Lab inside Visual Studio Code. But first, let's go to the Jupyter Lab installation. So you have here Jupyter Lab. And you have to install it. You have several options, use pip, Jupyter, and Jupyter Notebook. But also you can install it with Brew. Homebrew is a package manager for macOS and Linux devices. Very, very powerful. I recommend that if you have this kind of devices. But also you can install it via Conda, for example. You can Google, for example, Jupyter Lab. Install Conda, for example. Jupyter Lab documentation. You can follow the installation here. Okay. So it's very straightforward as well. You run this in the terminal. That's it. But very important, for your terminal, so you need to have installed first Conda, either with Condor Miniforge. So you have to see your environment. I'm using this nice terminal interface, but if you are using the the classic one, for example this one, you have to check that you're in the base environment. So to install JupyterLab, please do it in your base environment. We will see in a following video how to install JupyterLab, the kernels of specific virtual environments to your JupyterLab in IDE. So first make sure to have this, and if you have Conda, just copy this. If you have, especially if you have Miniforge, and you can install also pip. Via pip you can also install it. So you just copy, install it, then run it. I don't run it because I have already installed it. So yeah, that's the process to follow.